Howdy all, Galactic Lives. I think it's time we play a little Ark Ragnarok. So you know what? I guess maybe my Destroy Well dinos did work because my little snail guy's gone. Oh, poor little snail guy. I didn't know what to do with him anyways. What is that out there? Oh. Yeah, I'm still not sure what that was. I thought it might have been a bird, but I didn't see it take off. You want to go see what that is, buddy? Let's see what we got back there. Yeah, this is just dragging myself out of bed recording today. Oh, yeah, it is a bird. It's headed this way now. Usually I wait to record till after work, but you know what? They don't have any. They don't have my package for the day ready to go. My package. My drawing a blank on the word I want here. My stuff. My stuff to do today isn't ready to go. So, I guess I'm not the only one slacking this morning. Yeah, I got reading last night after our D&D session, so I stayed up a bit too late, so I'm getting out of bed a little later than normal. We had a pretty good D&D session this week, a lot better than the week before, that's for sure. Not that I didn't dislike the week before's major fight, I was just very irritated by the wizard who refuses to cast spells. He thinks the only time he should have to cast spells is outside of combat, when he wants to be involved in whatever is going on. And, so, as I said last time we talked about, our D&D, we got in a huge fight, and at the end of the fight, the druid and the cleric had emptied their spell slots. They had nothing left. I had used all of my fighter abilities. I feel like that just... I feel like my horse just sunk in the ground when I put that metal in there. Alright, you're still moving. And, ooh, is that a metal rock hidden inside this bigger rock? I see you poking out there. I don't think I'm hitting it, though. I think I'm hitting the bigger rock. And so, right. Druid's empty, Cleric's empty, Ranger's empty, Fighter's empty, Bard died and had to be resurrected. And you know, I'm down. I think I had to use you can use these thing called hit dice on a short rest. The wizard didn't even want to do a short rest because he was good to go. And I used 3 hit dice, and it didn't even bring me up close to my full health. I only have 7 available. So, actually I think I used 4 hit dice to try and get my health up. And didn't even bring me... Didn't bring me within 10 points. Didn't bring me within 15 points of my max health. And he's like, oh, we should push on. Oh. Wasn't sure what that was. It was scaring me there. And so he used like 2 spell slots during the fight. Right, 2 out of 11. Everybody else had dumped everything they had to stay alive, and it didn't even help for the bard. And he's like, "Oh well, I don't know if we need a short rest. Like, I got all my abilities. We should move on." Are you kidding me? We get in one more fight, we're dead. So this is important because it comes up later. And so we get moving along, and this week, and it goes pretty good. We push deeper into the cave. I wound up using all my ropes. I bought extra rope because I knew we were going underground the last time we were in a city, and my refrigerator seems to be leaking through my wall there a little bit. And so, you know, I meant for you to stay right here. Where are you going? I don't know why they do that. It's so annoying. I didn't put you on wander. I put you on don't follow, not run away. These. And I guess I'll use this to store supplies for... now that I've got my refrigerator. And so, we're going along, and we come to slime-covered walls is what we come to. Floor, ceiling, walls, it's all covered in slime. And there's a slope, and so I'm thinking, well, I don't want to have to slide down this thing, so I pull out a piton, which is like a metal spike you drive into stone to tie ropes to. And I tied a rope to it. Oh yeah, I guess I might want to get the metal out of this guy. And he's like, well, no, wait. Right. Inventory. There we go. And the DM is like, alright, well, you don't have enough rope to get to the bottom. I'm like, okay, well, I've got 3. Including the one I just tied on here. He's like, well, with all 3, you might just reach the bottom. I'm like, oh man, that's like all my rope. So I used all 3, and we got to the bottom, and then we ran into a thing called a flump. It's like a jellyfish, but it talks. And it has eyes on eye stalks sticking out of the top of its head, so maybe not quite like a jellyfish. And so okay, that's still less than what's in there, so and so he tells us what's going on in the area, which is really helpful. And so now we know not to go to the end of the tunnel we were going down because there's a worm. Although I'm pretty sure the wizard misheard it as worm, and so he kept saying the worm. The worm. We don't want to go down to the area he's calling the worm because something's down there. I'm like, yeah, there's a worm down there. Worm. And he's like, yeah, but he means like the aboleth, which was another thing the flump said was down there. He means like the area the aboleth is in is called the worm. I'm like, no, he's saying worm. Worm. And I typed it out in chat because we play online. W-U-R-M. Worm. I know worm is spelled W-O-R-M, but a worm sometimes in games is spelled with a U when it's giant, and sometimes it's spelled with a Y as well. But that usually refers to something involving dragons, a worm, and so he's like, oh, okay, yeah, right, a worm, right, down there in the warm. Nope, alright, I give up. You totally don't understand. I don't understand how you made this mistake, because nobody... Well, I do, because he doesn't stay. Because we play online, he thinks it's okay to just wander off and come back later, and it kind of annoys me, because when he wanders off and then he comes back later, he always says, I was AFK, what did I miss? And like, we're not gonna rehash the last however long you've been gone, because you can't sit still. I mean, it's not like we play for days, right? You know, we played for 4 hours. I could understand needing one break in 4 hours. I guess it's like playing with my Sunday group, right? They need a break every 10-15 minutes to do something. Drives me crazy. I don't know. I guess... I don't know. I just... Like, when I was in school, right? You don't get breaks. But like once every couple of hours. You can't sit still for 2 hours? At my previous job, you only got one break every couple hours. Like, like what's the deal? You can't sit still for 2 hours? You got to be gone every 10 minutes? So, and it's not like there are other people for him to have to deal with, 'cause it's midnight. So what's he doing that he's got to wander off every 10 minutes? Anyways. Whoa, did you see that? That dinosaur just teleported. I saw you. I saw you teleport. I need some more metal. I need a ton of metal. And so, anyways, so we talk to the Flumph. We don't go the direction of the worm. We go back the way we came. Our ranger is like, I'm not crossing that stone bridge. I'm not doing it. And we're like, okay, well, Flumph said that's the only way to go. So he's like, why are we even down here? And this is a thing that I do not like about his new personality, because he changes personalities quite a bit. And so every iteration just seems to be not willing to be a part of the party. And so he didn't want to go on this particular quest. We voted as a group. The group voted we go. He didn't want to go. So now we're down here on this quest. Yep, I'm gonna push every button but the one I want. And now he refusing to go on. We're all like, well, we're going across the bridge, and so he agrees to go across the bridge. We get in a fight with these things called hooked horrors, and they're eggs. And I thought that'd be kind of cool if we can manage to get this egg and keep it warm and get it to the surface. Now that we have a home base, it might be fun to have a hooked horror living in the basement. Well, he wasn't having it. Him and the wizard both just... Well, he didn't want to hurt them. He didn't want to hurt the hooked horrors. Because that's his new thing. He doesn't want to hurt anything. Why are we always killing everything? Because it tries to kill us. We don't kill the things that don't try to kill us. We only kill the things that try to kill us. That's... We have not performed a single assassination so far. We have not raised a single village. I don't know why you are so against us progressing through what's happening. Like, they're going to release something horrible into the world. We are here to stop it. That's our current quest line, by the way. We stumbled upon an organization who are trying to release ancient, powerful horrors on the world. The one we just stopped was trying to release Lolth, or Loth, whichever version of the name you pick. Because it has two different versions of the name. Do you... You do not have enough weight to take this other 200 metal, so... Can you even still move? You can't even still move. You were stuck in place. Well, that's not going to help. I guess... Give me this. Let's split it in half. You take half. I'll drop these. Maybe the two of us... I can't move now. Let's split this in half. You take this. Okay, I can barely move. And you... You're being spiteful at this point, I think. Yeah. Okay. I say he's being spiteful because, you know, he wouldn't stand still earlier and I complained about it, and now he's just standing still. Well, are you really... Like, I can barely move. How much weight? Are you sure you can't take this other bit so I can move a little faster? Oh yeah, you can. Okay. We're good. We're good. He'll just follow along at his slow pace, and I will move at my slow pace. So the wizard, he doesn't want to kill the hook horse. In fact, he tries to let the final hook horse leave. And all I can think of is, this thing attacked us. Like, we didn't attack it. It dropped from the ceiling and tried to kill us. Admittedly, we are in an area near its nest. But, you know, we tried to sneak through on the opposite side from its nest, and they dropped from the ceiling and attacked us. So, yeah, it's got to die. So he tried to let it go, but we all were getting opportunity attacks as it tried to flee. And I had decided, because I got really irritated earlier when they decided to let the mass murderer torturers live. And I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm done not attacking things that deserve, maybe not deserve, but, you know, from my character's point of view, they deserve death. I mean, they... we had zero indication that the guys who took over the kingdom had killed people, other than some heads hung up on the outside of the castle. We hadn't heard that the new head of the guards had killed people, really, and no issues at all killing the leader of the coup, his second in command, the new head of the guards. But when it came to the guys, we had actual information that they had killed and tortured people. Those two had to live. And it was just bizarre to me. And so they, between the ranger and the wizard, they kept the two guys alive. We didn't even get to combat them. And so I'm at that moment I vowed, nope, never again. I'm just gonna carry on with my beliefs unless the whole party agrees on something. Because we didn't agree on that. We did not agree. It was pretty evenly split, but the wizard stunned them in place, so they didn't even enter combat. Because then we have to hear about how the wizard saved us again. I'm not sure how he saved us from combat, but because like I said, he only wants to cast the spells outside of combat. In combat, he uses his smallest possible spells, and if I have to hear one more time him making sure that his character is not in range of melee combat, uh, I I honestly am not sure if he understands how the game works sometimes. Like, even though he DMs a game, his constant questions about movement and placing on a grid are driving me crazy. And he was doing it last night during the hook horrors because hook horrors can reach 10 feet. So if you're looking at the screen while we're doing our combat, there's a grid. There are squares. You can see them. There are squares. You look at the squares. This square is 5 feet. This square is 5 feet. Every square on the grid is 5 feet. So if you are 2 squares away from the hook horror, it can't reach you because it can only reach 10 feet. So if you are 15 feet away, it can't reach you. He just kept asking every time it was his turn. Am I far enough away from this thing that it can't reach me? Yeah, you can see it on the screen, dude. We're all looking at the same screen. You're 3 squares away. You're safe. You're not within the 10 feet range. Stop asking. But, and then he did not want us to take the eggs with us. He really argued against us taking the eggs. All this stupid stuff him and the ranger do, and he doesn't want me to take an egg. Because he thinks it's stupid. I'm like, no, I'm taking this with me. We have a place. I will keep it. If I can keep this egg alive while we're down here, I'm taking this egg with me. In fact, I currently have 2 eggs. The DM let me take 2 eggs. They're giant eggs, and so I had to prove to him that I had the supplies to make a sack to carry 2 giant eggs. But I did. I carry a lot of stuff on my guy because he's a fighter with 20 strength, so I can carry a lot. And so we get the eggs, we move on. We get to the area that we were told to stay on the path. Lot of argument about how we're going to get into this city. The ranger doesn't want to go into the city at all. He thinks it's stupid that we're trying to go in this city. And he's like, I don't even know why we're down here. And I'm like, well, you remember when we accepted a job to go and stop the people from letting in whatever it is they're trying to let in? Yeah. Well, that's what we're down here for. Why do you suddenly not understand what's going on? Like, all we do is kill everything. No, everything tries to kill us. There's a difference. You know, we've tried to negotiate our way through things. And then the one time we agreed to kill something, then you and the wizard conspired not to kill it. So yeah. So we get inside this, he didn't have another plan is the issue. I'm like, well, if you have a plan, then share it, right? If your plan is good, then we can go with your plan. I don't really care. It would just, I really need to make a compass and keep it with me. I would just like to, move along. And not sit here and argue for 2 hours on what the plan's going to be, because that is our normal sessions a lot, is sitting around debating forever what we're going to do. And so I was trying to push us along. For me, our best nights are where we keep moving. And so last night we kept moving pretty good. There was a time where the wizard and the ranger were arguing over what to do. I'm like, look, we've got some of the slaver stuff for these drow. We've got elf that speaks Undercommon, which is the language the Drow are speaking. Our bard has a disguise kit. We have the collar that marks the Drow we killed as belonging to one of the leaders of the city or something. We've got a permit that lets the slaver back into the city. We've got slaver chains, so why don't we just decorate or disguise the elf who can speak with them as a dark elf or drow, and then we'll get in there and they can pull us in as slaves, and then once we're inside the city, we can figure out what we're going to do. Why are we even trying to get in the city, the ranger says. I'm like, because that's where the people went. How do you know that? Because that's what your flump buddy that you talked to for 30 or 40 minutes said. It was probably more like 10 or 15, but it felt like 40. Like, stop asking this flump thing questions. He told us where the bad things are. He told us the direction our guys went. We just need to move on. Hang out with the flump on your own time. And there are 5 of us now that play, and I'm pretty sure at least 3 of us would like to move on. You and the wizard can stay here with the flump, and the rest of us will move on. And so we use a disguise kit, hide the oh, you know, I do need tree sap. I don't think I have a flying oh, I do. I just don't have a saddle for it, I think. Or did I? I did put a saddle on it. The whole getting tree sap, though, is tricky, if I remember correctly. I'm just, I went up a bunch of levels recently, so I wanted to see if there was anything in here now that I've got my pearls. There's anything in here I wanted to make. Because we got the industrial grill, we've got the generator, we got lights going. I wouldn't mind trying these bunk beds, although I do not have pelt hair or wool. Oh yeah, a chainsaw. I want to make the chainsaw. I think that's probably what I'll work on next is a chainsaw. Oh, and the motorboat, right. Oh, but that takes 60 black pearls, and I do not have 60 black pearls. I never did find a spot to put an oil pump. I'm not doing egg stuff at the moment, so I don't need air conditioners. I don't really let it get dark anymore, so miner's helmet's not that useful. Industrial grinder is ridiculous to make. Oh yeah, the trank stuff I wanted to look at making too. Nope, that's... I wonder what that is. That's a weird looking thing. Oh, the better bow is coming up. I haven't used that. This is about as far as I've ever made it. There's the underwater gear I want. Is that the sniper rifle? I haven't tried that yet either. What is that? There's a bazooka, looks like. There's the chemical station. I haven't tried that yet. What is that? Man, there's a lot more levels. There's a lot of turrets I see. And then we get to the stuff that I've never unlocked. I don't even know how. What's that? That looks like an animal. Okay, well, chainsaw then. Okay, so to make the chainsaw, where is the chainsaw? Chainsaw. I need 25 electronics and 75 polymers. Alright, so let's turn you on. I need 75 polymers. I can make 26. And I need 25 electronics. When I have plenty of stuff for that. 25 electronics. Okay, so what am I missing for polymers then? Looks like cementing paste. And probably obsidian, to be honest. Cementing paste, though, I did have a bunch of rocks, and I do have a bunch of chitin. So that is... Also, let's go ahead and make some new trank arrows, because I am out of trank arrows. So yeah, I need to finish my story here. So we can't understand what the guards are saying, right? So that makes it interesting. But the elf that we decorated, I keep saying decorated, disguised as a drow, he can get in. And he can speak with them, and so he's speaking with them. And so after rolling some persuasion checks on conversations that we can't understand, because the DM plays the person in particular, we didn't get to hear that conversation at all. And so that was interesting. And so he managed to succeed on 3 separate persuasion checks, which is rare for our DM to succeed 3 times in a row at something. He has really bad dice rolls sometimes, and I'm gonna go with oxygen, I think. And so we get into the city. And my dude is very anti-slavery, and so marching through this city was hard for him. And I debated a couple of times of breaking out of our disguise to attack people because of what was going down in this city. I mean, there was one point where they knocked a slave to the, or a slave fell to the ground because he couldn't stand up because he was so weak, and they then stomped his face into the pavement. So yeah, eventually we made it to a spot, and the disguised elf on our team managed to overhear a conversation about why this particular pit at the center of the town was guarded. Some kind of holy thing, and get away from my guy. Get away from my guy. You don't really have anything I want. Are you okay, buddy? That's why I've got you up here on the beach, was because I didn't think those dudes could reach up here. I think he's okay, though. No, he did get hurt a little bit. I know. Oh, yeah, I was going to give you this fish. Oh, you got a ton of fish on you already. There you go. Well, you can have some more from that stupid shark. Oh, I don't have a pteranodon anymore. Right, I don't. I forgot that my guy ran off. Anyways, concentrate. So we they're debating over what to do. And I'm just like, okay. So there are guards around the pit. We are currently hidden around a corner. Our wizard, because now we're not in combat, so he is dumping spells left and right. Turns himself invisible. He goes and uses his familiar that he's also turned invisible to check out the pit. It goes down 80 feet. There's no ladder or stairs or anything, and so I'm thinking, all right, 80 feet, 80 feet. 80 feet is 8d6. The maximum of 8d6 is 48 damage. I can take that. I'm like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. And then the wizard's like, oh, I can cast Featherfall on the party. After we're trying to figure out how we're gonna get to the bottom of this thing, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, there we go then. You can Featherfall the party, and then I think our druid had to turn into an eagle because he could only do 5 people, and then he could cast Fly on himself and Featherfall on the rest of us, and then we charged the pit, and one of our party did not manage to get past the guards and got grappled by one of the guards. And so my very large fighter just football charged him right into the pit with us, and he didn't cast Levitate. I expected him to cast Levitate because he's a drow. He did not cast Levitate, and he fell 80 feet to the floor. I had Featherfall, so I didn't take any damage from the fall. And I drove my sword into him, which started our last fit over killing people for the night. I can't carry all this. And why we gotta always kill people? And then the ranger leaves the room because he doesn't want to be there while we're killing this guard who tried to capture us, who is it's not like we have any place to put him. Why can't we just tie him up? We can't just tie him up. What's he gonna do, follow us later, go get more people and come back? What do you think is gonna happen? We're not like in a city where we can put him in jail. We're in the middle of a drow city. We just dove into their sacred pit where they're not supposed to go. We dumped him 80 feet into the pit he's not supposed to go in. Either they execute him or we do. And I'd prefer to make sure that he's not following us. So, and then while he's arguing that, I go ahead and take my attacks, which aren't enough. Oh, that's food that I'm low on, not water. I got my little symbols there mixed up. And so he's like, I'm not staying here for this, and he wanders off in the other room, away from us, down deeper in the cave system that's at the bottom of the pit. And then the druid gets attacked, and so he gets mad because him and the druid are a couple, maybe. I'm not really clear on their. I would say couple. So when the drow attacked the druid when he got close, well, then he come rushing back in and fired his arrows into him. But then he immediately turned around and left because we proceeded to kill the guy. And he stabbed the druid for 30 damage. And he still wants him to live? Like, I don't get it. I don't get how he's playing the game, because he doesn't want to be party to anything we do. That's what it feels like. The wizard isn't much better. The wizard doesn't want to be party to anything we do either. If it's not their hijinks, they don't want to be part of it. honestly, it feels like most of the time. Ooh, I'm out of spark powder. How am I still cold? I am in my house. The doors are closed. I am next to a heat source. Can I please stop freezing to death? Is my, that's not what I wanted to do. Is my... I can't remember what button to open my thing. Is there a thing in here that tells me what my temperature is? That's like the H button, right? It tells me what temperature it is, but it doesn't tell me my oh, I'm cold now, so... Oh, but as soon as I step away from that fire, ooh, I am freezing. Okay. But so, yeah, so we made it down to the bottom of the pit. All in all, I thought it was a pretty good night, minus the arguing over whether or not we should kill things. I guess it's his character now that he doesn't want to kill things or be a part of what we do. Which, of course, is one of the things you're not supposed to do if you're playing D&D. If you ever check out like a D&D forum where they talk about how players in a party are supposed to act, the idea is that you're a unit, that you came together for a reason, and if your character doesn't want to be part of the party, then they shouldn't play with the party. You should make a new character. And so his character really doesn't feel like he wants to be part of our party, ever. And the wizard isn't much better. Honestly, we fight in the hook horrors, right? He casts one spell that incapacitates one for part of the turn and tells everyone that they can't attack it. And so he basically stopped it from taking one turn. And somehow he thinks that's a better idea than giving me an extra attack every round. And then on the second one that we were fighting, he hit it for 10 damage. In one turn, I hit one of them for over 70 damage. And on his one turn, he hit for 10. Not because he rolled low. Nope, not because he rolled low. Just because he used the smallest spell possible. 10. I don't know why he thinks that's okay in his mind. He has a spell that's slightly bigger than that, that automatically hits, so he doesn't have to roll to see if he's going to hit or not, and has the potential to do more damage than 10. So won't even throw up a level 1 spell, even though he can get back a bunch of those after a short rest. Well, not now, because he used his short rest because he used up multiple illusion or invisibilities for no reason, and just because he could, because we weren't in combat. Didn't want to be part of the party when we snuck in, so he made himself invisible and hid from everything that was going on and just followed at a distance. Mentioned multiple times how he had Dimension Door ready to go in case he had to flee instead of staying to help the party. Yeah. Another character, not really part of the party. Everybody else fits pretty cohesively, but those two drive me crazy. All right, with that, I obviously need to go find myself a new Pteranodon. I now have a good chunk of metal cooking up. I will probably be switching over. I just made a bunch of arrows. I will probably be switching over to the rifle pretty quickly, I feel like. Because metal was the thing that was holding me back. And So I'd like to get the rifle going, which will help possibly get my hands on some better dinos. I'd also like to look into making that spear gun, which must be made in here? What are you fired by? A massive bolt with a tranq dart mounted on the front, used as a for the harpoon gun, right? Harpoon, not spear. Harpoon launcher. Cementing paste. Wow, it takes 60 cementing paste. 30 polymer, which I can make. Obsidian, I'm gonna have to go get. I'm gonna have to go get obsidian anyways. Metal ingots, I shouldn't have a problem getting my hands on. Cementing paste shouldn't be too bad. Well, no, you know what? Now that my Allosaur is dead, cementing paste is actually going to be a problem to get my hands on pretty quickly. So I am going to need to get my hands on a new big Carno quick. Alright, with that, click like if you like, subscribe, be sure to catch the next one. I will talk to you later.